Have you ever felt like you were not really living your life? Like you were just watching it from far away? Days go by very fast. Monday becomes Friday, January becomes December. And inside you, you have dreams. Maybe you want to speak English better. Maybe you want to start something new. Or maybe you just want to feel happy and healthy. If you feel this way, you are not alone. Hi, I'm Sunny, and this is Glow and Grow Channel. A small and quiet space where we learn simple English and take small steps to grow together. Maybe, like me, you keep saying, I will start later. When I have more time. When I have more energy. But my friend, I have to tell you this. Nothing will change if your daily actions don't change. You can think more, you can plan more, you can wait for the perfect moment. But if you keep doing the same things every day, your life will stay the same. If you feel this way, I understand. I was like this before too. For a long time, I wanted to start this podcast. I learned, I read, and I planned. But I didn't start. I told myself, I'm not ready. My English is not good enough. My voice is not good enough. So I waited. One day, I asked myself a simple question. What is the cost of waiting? The answer was clear and a little painful. The cost is time. Time is very quiet. You don't see it go, but one day you look back and it is gone. Waiting feels safe, but it is actually very expensive. Because while you are waiting, your dreams are waiting too. Many of us prepare too much. We prepare again and again, but we forget to live. We buy books, but we don't read them. We watch videos, but we don't practice. We are waiting for a feeling called ready. But the truth is simple. Ready never comes. It is like a ghost. You can't see it and you can't catch it. If you wait until you feel 100% ready, you will stay in the same place forever. So what should we do instead? Let me share a simple idea. Life is like riding a bicycle. If you stop, it is hard to keep your balance. You feel afraid and unsure. But when you start moving, even slowly, you feel better. You find your balance. Life is the same. You don't find your way by thinking too much. You find your way by moving. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect conditions. You only need one small step. Just one, because one small step today can change your whole year. And one day, you will look back and say, I'm so glad I started. In this quiet moment, I want to sit here with you. Just you and me. No pressure, no rush. Just a small space to be honest with yourself. And maybe, just for a second, imagine this. 1 year from now, you will meet yourself again. The only question is, will you be the same or will you be different? The answer is not in your plans. It is in what you do next. So take one step, start small, but start today. But here is something we need to understand. If taking one small step is so simple, why do so many of us still wait? Why do we delay the things that matter to us? It's not because we are lazy, and it's not because we don't care. Most of the time, we don't start because we are afraid. Afraid of not being good enough. Afraid of making mistakes. Afraid of being judged. So instead of trying and failing, we choose to wait. Waiting for someday that we feel ready, when everything feels easier and more certain. But honestly, there will never be a moment when we feel completely ready. There will always be something missing, a little more time, a little more confidence, a little more clarity. And if we keep waiting for everything to feel perfect, we may end up waiting forever. The truth is simple. We don't start because we feel ready. We start and then we slowly become ready. You know, waiting feels safer, but it keeps us stuck. Many people stay stuck with their dreams because they are always waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for the right feeling. But that moment never really comes. Because life is never perfectly balanced. Sometimes you have the energy and the time, but you don't have enough money or resources. Later, you may have the money, but you don't have the same time or health anymore. There is always something missing, always something not ready. And that's exactly why the perfect time is an illusion. If you wait for everything to align, you will keep moving the starting line further and further away. So maybe the goal is not to find the perfect moment. Maybe the goal is to start in an imperfect one. To start when things are not clear. To start when you still feel unsure. Because that is how real life works. And that is how real change begins. And one day, you will look back, not at the things you tried and failed, but at the things you never tried at all. The chances you didn't take. The steps you were too afraid to start. Because regret doesn't come from trying. It comes from waiting too long. So don't be afraid of small mistakes. Don't be afraid of starting messy. Every step you take will teach you something. Every experience will shape you into someone stronger, someone wiser, and one day you will be thankful. Not that everything was perfect, but that you had the courage to begin. Real change doesn't need pressure. It needs two things, honesty and courage. Why honesty? Because you cannot change what you refuse to see. If you keep saying, "I'm fine," when deep down you feel stuck, nothing will move. Honesty is the first light. It helps you see where you are, what you want, and what you no longer want to carry. It is the moment you say, "I don't want to stay here anymore. I want something better for my life." But honesty alone is not enough. You also need courage. Because after you see the truth, you still have to take one step. And that step may feel scary. You may still feel unsure. You may still feel afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving while fear is still there. That is why honesty and courage work together. Honesty shows you the door. Courage helps you open it. Honesty says, "This is where I am." Courage says, "But this is not where I have to stay." Change is uncomfortable. Yes, but it is also where your new life begins. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are moving into something new. When you try something different, it feels strange. When you take a new step, it feels uncertain. But that feeling is part of growth. I know you've been thinking about it. Maybe you want to wake up earlier to enjoy the sunrise. Maybe you want to eat healthier, start a new project, or leave a habit that no longer serves you. But every morning, when the alarm goes off, your hand hits snooze automatically. You stay the same, even when you say you want to change. But here is a gentle truth. Avoiding change does not protect your peace. It only postpones your growth. Not trying is also a decision. Every time you choose to stay the same, you are also choosing to stay away from the life you truly want. But please, don't be harsh with yourself. This is not about blame. It's about awareness. You are not behind in life. You are just standing at the edge of your next chapter. And maybe today, your brave step is very small. Think of it like this. You are planting a seed. Not a big tree, not a perfect garden, just one small seed of the person you want to become. Maybe it is a seed of discipline. Maybe it is a seed of confidence. Maybe it is a seed of health, learning, or courage. And today, you plant it by doing one small thing. Just one. You don't need to see results today, and you don't need to feel different right away, because seeds grow in silence, under the surface, where no one can see. But if you keep planting, if you keep showing up, one day something will change. So don't wait to become a new person. Start now, with one small step. Think of it as planting a seed for the person you want to be. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask a better question. "What can I gain if I try?" You don't need to change your whole life today. You only need one small yes, one action, one step, one start, and then do it again tomorrow. That's how it grows. Perfection is a beautiful lie. It tells you, wait until you're ready. Do it perfectly or don't do it at all. And so we wait. We hesitate. We delay the things that matter. But here is the truth. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You need to begin to get better. Because your brain doesn't grow when you think about change. It grows when you do something, even something small. When you practice for 5 minutes, your brain learns. When you make a mistake, your brain adjusts. When you try again, your brain becomes stronger. This is how learning works, not in perfect moments, but in repeated action. So even if today looks like, "I only studied for 5 minutes," or "I didn't understand everything," or "I made mistakes when I spoke," it still counts. Because you showed up. And every time you show up, your brain is changing, quietly, step by step. That's why consistency beats intensity. Small actions, repeated daily, are more powerful than one perfect effort. Every expert you admire started like this, confused, slow, making mistakes. But they didn't wait to feel ready. They kept acting. So let go of the perfect image in your head. Life is not perfect. It is built from small, imperfect days. Speak, even with mistakes. Practice, even when you feel tired. Move forward, even when you feel unsure. Because when you act, something is already changing inside you. And maybe this is the simplest truth of all. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want something different, do something different. New results require new actions. Right now, think about the things you want to change and be honest with yourself. What is one small action you have been avoiding? Maybe it's starting something you've been thinking about for a long time. Maybe it's letting go of a habit that no longer helps you. Or maybe it's simply showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel ready. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect timing. You just need a different step. What is one small thing you can do in the next 5 minutes? Don't overthink it. Just notice what comes to your mind. Maybe it's opening one page, sending one message, taking one deep breath, and choosing a different reaction. That's enough. Because change doesn't start with big plans. It starts with small, honest actions. And every time you take one small step, you are telling yourself, I am someone who moves. And that changes everything. Your future is not built in one perfect day. It is built in small choices, again and again. So take a breath. And when this episode ends, don't just feel inspired. Do one small thing. Because that small step might be the moment everything begins. And I'll be here with you every time you choose to start again.